Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I want to talk about Business Central 2023 release with 2 new features. So in this release, I feel like there's a lot of features which is very interesting. Like in all the previous major release, I found it's not many improvements, and it's only added some additional fields and just a little bit user experience improvement. But in this major release, I feel like there's so much more to talk about, and especially those warehousing features, the improvement on the warehousing, and the user experience also improved a lot. And there's more concerns, like to avoid you have more clicks and to provide more details for you to troubleshoot. Previously, when you get an error, you may not even know where to find exactly the details to troubleshoot that issue. But now there's more details for you to locate where the error is and bring you to the additional setup you can. So also there's more improvement and consolidating on the multi-company environment and a different Business Central environment, how you can do intercompany transactions if there's a different Business Central environment. These are kind of consideration for those companies has multiple Business Central tenants, and then the operations in different regions, and then they want to consolidate all their transactions and financials all together. And also there's many improvement in the mobile apps. So much more to talk about on this release. And if you already, because right now we are already in October, and the release wave 2 is released on October the 1st. So we are ready. If maybe you have a Business Central environment already in this new version, Business Central version 23. I got my environment set up like 1 month before this major release. You can go to your Business Central admin center, and then you can create a new environment, no matter it's production or sandbox. Then you can select a version. That version can be a preview version. But after the major release is rolled out by Microsoft, you can now select that preview version anymore. Once you create a new environment, you can select 23 directly. If you want to use your CDX, which is the Customer Digital Experience environment, to test out the new functionalities in this version, if Microsoft hasn't rolled out this version 23 to your environment, you can do that. You can create a new sandbox and then set it up directly with the version 23. Okay, so let's start with the Power Platform. So I'm just quickly go through all these features in this Business Central. You can go to this overview, what's new and planned for Business Central. And for Power Platform, what I think which is a great feature is the Power Automate. I haven't tested it out because I'm using a CDX environment, and you need to have a paid version in order to test out those virtual tables. I mean the paid version of the Power Platform. So, but I will say because Power Automate is everywhere, and let's say if you go to customer card, and then you could see this Automate, and then that will bring you to the Power Automate. So there's some very good features and templates to bring you to how to set up the approval workflows. So you can create an approval flow, and they give you some templates you can use directly from the Microsoft Flow. And then let's say you want to select this, so you like to select this template, then it just let you know all the apps is connecting to, like approvals, Outlook, and Microsoft 365, and the connection with Business Central. Then you can select create. Then it will let you create your to select your environment. You may have multiple environments, like production or sandbox. And in each environment, you may have different companies you want to connect to. So you can select your environment, and then you can select the company you want to connect to. So that's to use a template. And also you can, it also give you the capability, you can create an automated flow. Like if something happens in Business Central, you want to trigger something else to happen in other apps, you can do that. So you can also use some templates here. So like you want to notify on Teams when a customer is blocked in Business Central and unblocked, all these different templates for you to select from, which is really good. And also you can create an action based on a flow, which means there's an action in Business Central will trigger some flows in other Business Central apps. So let's click on this. Then you could see there's also some template. And so you can see also what apps it's interact with. And like this one, it's using Business Central, Microsoft 365, Outlook, and Teams, which is schedule visit for a customer from Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central. So it's integrating Business Central together with all the other Microsoft suite of products, which is really good. And also there's a feature, as I said, I cannot really test because I'm using a CDX environment. I will say that's the DataWorks DataWorks connection. If you go to DataWorks connection setup, and it will allow you to set up the virtual tables. And you could see there's a tab called virtual tables, and you need to install the virtual tables app. Once you click on this, it will bring you to the app source. Then you can install that virtual tables app in your Business Central as extension. And then you can select the virtual tables, like you can which will be available on the DataWorks. So there are many tables available. I cannot really show you, but if you have a paid version of Power Platform with Business Central, with paid version of Business Central, then you can test that out. And also, you can, except for go to the virtual tables from here, from the DataWorks connection setup, you can also go to the assisted setup. From assisted setup, you can go to, there's a assisted setup for connection with the DataWorks. You can set up a connection to DataWorks, click on this, and enable virtual tables and events, okay? So in order for that virtual tables to work, for sure you have to set up your DataWorks connection, and in your DataWorks connection setup, then you have to make sure here, no matter if you're going through the assisted setup or you're just setting up directly from DataWorks connection setup, make sure you enable the virtual tables and events, okay? So that's something I found is really useful with this Power for the features with Power Platform. There's some improvement for Power BI, and for the embedded Power BI in Business Central, then you can view it in full page, and there's some, but it's not available yet. So it says October 2023, but I couldn't see that change in my CDX environment, in this preview environment yet. And regarding the applications, there's a lot of improvements. I will say the first thing I want to talk about is you can reverse the payments applied to entries originated in foreign currencies. Okay, so which is this one. And so previously, if you can go to customer ledger entries or vendor ledger entries to reverse a transaction, and when you reverse the transaction, if you have if there's a foreign currencies involved, then you have difficulty to reverse it because it associated to unrealized gain or loss account. So those GL accounts, and you will not be able to reverse those currencies which originated in foreign, those ledger entries, customer or vendor ledger entries which originated in foreign currencies. But in this version, even it's in that scenario, then you still be able to reverse the transaction and have the transactions reversed to the unrealized gain or loss account. So that's some improvement. And also regarding to the consolidation between the different environments, so you could see we have make intercompany transactions across Business Central environment. We also have consolidated financial information across environments in multi-company setups. So how that is set up, because Business Central is in the cloud, it's in the Microsoft public cloud, right? So at the back end, actually all these different credentials and the permissions, all these are managed in Azure. So in order to set up the consolidated financials across 2 different environments in multi-company setups, then there's something you can do from your business units. So let's say if I go to my business units, then you could see on the top there's a setup. You can go to this setup, and if you expand this page, then you could see enable company as a subsidiary. You can have a structure of a head office, and this Business Central environment is a subsidiary, but it's located in a different region, right? So it's two different Business Central tenants, two different environments. And in that case, if you enable this and enable company as a subsidiary, then you accept these and go through the wizard, and then you can set up, you could see there's a current environments API entry, and then you can go to the head office Business Central environment. So I'm just going to use the same environment to show you, but actually you have to go to the head office Business Central environment and then go to business unit and click on new. And then you will see in that business unit card, when you set up the connection to the subsidiary, then instead of import method select database, you have to select API. Then you have to copy that subsidiary's API endpoint information to here. Then you will be able to set up different subsidiaries with different business units and consolidate them at a head office level in the head office Business Central tenant environment. And so regarding the intercompany transactions, and you can go to the intercompany partner card, and in the intercompany partners card, then on this partner card, then you will see there's a connect externally setup. So let's open this card, and then you can select connect externally setup. And from here, then you have to enable all these. So what you have to do is in Azure, you have to register the app, and then you get all the connection URL information, and then you just finish this process so that you can connect to another company in a different Business Central tenant. Okay, that's how you can connect different Business Central environment for intercompany transactions. And also there's some improvement for the intercompany approval process for these intercompany transactions. Sometimes you have to do, except for the purchase and sales documents for intercompany transactions. And if it's only at the GL level, then usually you can use the intercompany general journal. So in this intercompany general journal, then in order to for different environment or different company to have the control on the transactions to go through a approval process. So Business Central added this intercompany approval process to its workflow templates. So in the basic workflow templates, there's under finance, you see general journal batch approval workflow, general journal line approval workflow. So that intercompany general journal can also go through, use these workflow templates for approval process now. Okay, just for intercompany general journal batch and intercompany general journal line. So that's some additional approval workflow feature added for intercompany general journal. And also regarding the foreign currency exchange rate, if we go to currencies, and there's a preview posting feature added, which is which will allow you to view the result for the foreign currency exchange rate adjustment before you post them. Okay, for this new feature for the exchange rate adjustment, then the preview posting feature. In my preview version, I do not see it available. It says it's available, general availability is October the 2nd. Even that, I do not have this available in this preview version. If I click on this adjust exchange rate, I don't see that. And if I zoom into this report, okay, do the page inspection, I can see my report ID is 595. And the new report is called exchange rate adjustments. And that report is Swiss report ID 595. So the feature is like on this new report 596, then you will see, you can see this report ID 596. You will see some additional fields added, like including preview posting and adjust per entry. Or you can adjust per entry, or you can adjust by the GL, the unrealized gain or loss account. So you could see adjust per entry, or you could see adjust per entry, or you could summarize it still by the currency. And there are some additional settings for dimension posting, and you have different options. If you select source entry dimensions, it will carry over the source, it will carry over the GL entry, it will carry over the entry, the dimensions from the entry you are adjusting to the GL entries for the unrealized gain or loss. And if you select no dimensions, then there's no dimensions will be carried over for that unrealized gain or loss account, GL entries. And if you select the GL account dimensions, it will carry over the it will carry over the dimensions from the unrealized gain or loss GL account to your GL entries. So that's how that works. And so this is a good feature as well, but I don't have it available here, so I cannot show you. And also there's some changes for, you can use the different GL account for your receivables and payables. And there's some setup you can do from the sales and the receivable setup or purchase and payable setup. And that setup will be allow multiple posting groups. Once you have this enabled, then you will be able to go to your customer, in this case, because I have it enabled on my sales and receivable setup. Once I have that enabled, I can go to my customer posting groups. From there, I could see there's alternative groups I can select. So for example, I can select this, I have these two different customer posting groups, right? And those GL account for receivable is different. If I want to say for this, an alternative is like I want to post to this GL account 15120. Then I have to set up my posting group, and then I have to select that foreign account there. So then it will use, when you post it, it will use this 15120 to post for this domestic account instead of use this, right? So it just allow you to use another receivable account instead of the receivable account you specify here. And same on the purchasing side, you can set it up, allow multiple posting. You can enable that flag on the purchase and the payables account. Then you will be able to go to your vendor posting setup to select the alternative posting group you want to post to. Okay, and also in this release, it gives you some additional features to handle your warehousing process. Previously, for a scenario like I'm a manufacturing company and I do production and then I ship the products out. So for my production process, when I consume my components on the production orders, I do not want to enable the pick process. However, when I ship it, I want to have the pick enabled. I want to create the picks before I ship it. However, in the previous setup, it's not possible in this scenario. You cannot have different process for if you enabled pick for your external process, which is the external warehouse handling, then that same settings will be used for the internal warehouse process, even your handle your production components pick. So in that case, if I enable on the location card and I enabled warehouse I enabled require shipment and the require pick, even I consume my components on the production order, which is an internal warehouse process, I still need to create a pick in order to consume my components. So in this version, it separated your outbound warehouse handling process your external warehouse handling process with your internal warehouse handling process. So on the location card, then you can see there's additional fields added here, which is under production. You have the production consumption warehouse handling, then you have the production output warehouse handling. So for all these, you can enable something different from your inbound warehouse handling, from your external warehouse handling. So in this location card, which is the white location card, I'm not able to do that because you could see all these are grayed out. That's because I have the directed put away and pick enabled on this location card. If you find another location which doesn't have the directed put away and pick enabled, then you will see all these fields becomes available. And then, so even on this yellow location card, I have the require receive and require shipment and require pick enabled for outbound inventory transactions, and I can and I have the require receive and the require put away enable for inbound. So for my production, I can select different warehouse handling process. So I can say for my production order, I do not want to pick, I will say no warehouse handling, which is, so that is different from how I handle it for outbound, right? So for externally, and also for the output, I can say I only require put away, inventory put away, or I can say I don't want to enable any warehouse handling for put away when I report output on my production orders. Then it's different from here, because here you need a warehouse put away and you need a warehouse receipt and you need a registered put away. So you have these two flags enabled, require receive and require put away for when you receive your PO, right? But in production order, I do not need to do that. I do not need to create a put away, register put away. I can say I don't want any warehouse handling, or I can say I only want the inventory put away. I don't need a warehouse put away. Okay, so that's a difference on this, and this is a big improvement because it's too much trouble if you want your internal warehouse handling to be different from your external warehouse handling with the previous location card settings for warehouse setting. So, and also in this release, we have the feature like you can block your item variants. And if you go to your item cards and go to your variants for on the item card, then you could see there's some additional fields added. And here, so you could see we have the blocked and sales blocked, purchasing blocked. We have those flags enabled. Okay, so when you say blocked, then this variant is blocked for both sales and purchasing document. And if you say sales blocked, it's only not allow you to put it on the sales document. If you say purchasing blocked, it does not allow you to put it on the purchasing document, and it is not searchable when you create those documents as well. So it will be, there's some use cases like you don't want to, even previously you created lots of variants, but they are not used anymore, and you don't want them to show up on the search even, so then you can block them. So this is useful as well. And also, I think added in Excel previously is only available on all the different pages, right? On all Business Central pages. And in this major release, Microsoft extended it to the journals and the worksheet as well. So if you go to your item journal, then if you click on this button, you will see added in Excel as well. So which is this is a great help because when you added these journals or worksheets, sometimes you don't want to work in this Business Central interface. It's more convenient to do it in Excel than publish it back. Yeah. So in the item journals, if you go to some worksheet like a requisition worksheet, For other journals and worksheets, you can go to the new release feature to find out what other journals and worksheet. I'm just gonna give you some examples. You can see this one is added Excel. You can do that as well. In many journals and worksheets, you have the edit in Excel feature available now in this release. And also in the item reference, if we go to item card and we go to the item reference, there's the starting date and ending date has been added. So it allows you to tell the system when you want that cross-reference to be valid. You can define the starting date, ending date. And this item reference has been added in many pages, which is there's many pages being added. I will say like in the physical inventory journal and in many journals which use and when you in the orders. So physical inventory journal, for example, and item journal, all those journals, you will see the item reference has been added. This will be convenient for you to refer to. So maybe you can personalize here and to find out there's the, let's see, item reference. You could see it's there, it's available. So that's convenient for you to refer internally. Even in the consumption journal and capacity journal, output journal, you will see this item reference number. Okay, so it's easier for your reference. And also there's another major improvement I will say in this major release is the barcode feature, barcode scanning feature. This was not available in Business Central before, but now let's just stay on the item list. In the in the item card or in the item reference or even the lot number information, serial number information, in those card page and list page, then you could see there's additional report added. This report is called print label. And when you print the label, then you can just go to preview and you could see it just print out the barcode. So Business Central never had this feature before. So this is a big improvement, but how I can get this printed? So let's go to another item, go to this item, and you print the same report, you will see there's nothing printed. So the question is, how can you get it printed? So that barcode comes from the GTIN on item card. So on the item card, you will see this GTIN field. You need to have that filled in on the item card in order for it to print. And you can see the definition here. This GTIN is the global trade item number, and usually it typically contains the UPC or the EAN. Then so usually you want to put those numbers for UPC and EAN there in the GTIN. Okay. So once you have that populated, then you will be able to print the label and have that barcode show up. So except for the item list I just mentioned, you can print it out from the item reference as well. So let's go to our item reference. Then you will see print label here available as well. And because I didn't see like anything here, let's just put something here. Then let's print unit measure, give it a unit measure test. And then you can put a starting date, ending date. That's just for testing purpose, but that will not affect your label. But you will see now it will print the label. Okay. So, and in item reference, and also you can print it on the lot information. Depends on if the lot is tracked or not. Let's see. I don't have this in the lot tracking, but if you have the item tracking code, which has the let's take a look on our item tracking. If you have the item tracking code, and on the item tracking code you have enabled the lot or serial information. So if you enable this lot number info, and this is a serial tracked item, you have that serial number info must exist, Then when you receive it, or when you receive the lot, then you have to populate the lot info, and you can print the label from the lot information or serial number information card as well, card or list as well. So and another thing I want to say, it provide you a greater level of navigation, because in the past, if you go to the posted documents, you want to if you have a sales order, that goes to a sales order, and if you have a sales order, you posted something, right? And you posted shipment and posted invoice, and on the line you can now drill into it. You have to go to order and then go to your shipments in order to see the shipments. You can see for this line, I have the quantity shipped 12. I have to click. There's multiple clicks I can do in order to see my shipment or invoice, right? And in this version, you are able to drill it right away from the line. So on the line, once you shipped it or invoiced it, in the quantity shipped and quantity invoiced, you could see right now it's a link. It means you can drill into it. This is a green link, right? So you can click on that. It will bring you to the posted sales shipment line directly. You don't need to have multiple clicks in order to get there. So it just make your navigation to be easier to find the history associated to those sales documents or purchase documents. Same on the purchasing document. Okay, and also the over receipt feature previously on the purchasing side is only applied to the purchase order, and you can create a default over receipt code, or you can set it up on the vendor item card. Then you can do the over receipt. But now this has been extended to the inventory put away as well on the purchasing side. So you do not even without the, and also this is another feature I want to mention, because right now I didn't set up myself as a warehouse employee, and so that's why when I go to the inventory put away, it tells me like I need to add myself as a warehouse employee. So this is great, because previously it just errored out. It doesn't bring you to there. And now it tells you like you need to be added to the warehouse employee, and you can click on yes. It will open the warehouse employee page for you to set yourself up. Okay. So I can add myself to all these different locations, and just to avoid there's some other issues later. Okay. So yellow, okay, and then yellow, white, silver. Okay, so I think that's enough. Just add myself. So usually these three are the demo locations which has the warehouse features enabled, like the be mandatory, require ship, require receive, require shipment, require pick, all those enabled. So yeah, I think those three will be fine. I don't need the last one. And then you will be able to see the inventory put away. So I mentioned for this over receipt feature has been added to the inventory put away. You can see on the line we have the over receipt quantity. This is an additional field, and also the over receipt code. These two additional fields added. So for you to over receipt in the inventory put away. On the financial side, for sure you have to go to your purchase order to handle the purchase invoice for the over receipted amount, right? Over receipt amount. And also in this version, it gives you visibility when you sell something, and when you pick something, then you know like what is available to pick, if it's a reserve somewhere in the warehouse, and it gives you more visibility on that. Previously, there's no more details on that, and you have to figure out yourself. So if you go to your sales order, then you could see on the fact box, then there's an additional field. So there's an additional field added for the reserved requirements and the reserve from stock. You could see those reserved receipt. So you could see those fields tells you the reservation, if you can reserve this quantity from the inventory or not. Okay. And also there's a reservation worksheet specifically created for this release for you to, if you want to bulk cancel reservation, or if you want to bulk reserve, you can use the reservation worksheet to do that. And what you can do, so you can go to allocate, and then you say allocate, and it can allocate a reservation. You could see remaining quantity to reserve. It tells you what is the quantity to reserve, and you want to bulk reserve the quantity. Then you can see available quantity to reserve and the remaining quantity to reserve. You can see those, right? And you want to bulk reserve them. You can select all the lines and say allocate. It will do that. And you can define your allocation policy. And there's a equally and there's a basic for the reservation. Equally among all these orders, you can do the basic. And also, you can cancel the reservation. You can select, but if after you execute allocate, then you can accept carry out this message. So then the reservation can be made. And then you can bulk cancel the reservation as well. You can you can go to this make reservation, and this is one by one, doing it one by one. And then you can say reservation entries, and then you could see all the reservations, right? And then you can cancel the reservation from here. So it's just another worksheet for you to working on the reservation entries and bulk cancel the reservation or bulk reserve. And also there's sales reservation availability report and the purchase reservation availability report created for this purpose. So let's take a look. So sales reservation availability report, then let's run this report to see show reservation entries. So there's an arrow, sales line must be shown. Let's enable both. Okay, let's take a look what's going on here. And when we have this, and for the reservations, I could see reserved, and there's a different reservation policy set up, and it says optional or always. And then if you have any reservation, you can see the reserve quantity base. And right now on this report, we don't have any, we don't seem to have any reservation because it says reserve quantity base, it's all 0, right? And but if you do have reservations in your system, then it will show you similar. The other report is the purchase. So purchase reservation availability report. Let's run this report to see if there's anything, or if there's any reservation on this report. We don't see any reservation on this report. Reserve quantity base is all 0. Yeah, but if you do have reservations, you will see that the reservation. And another thing in the previous version, like on the sales documents or purchase document, the document date, and when you update the document date, it always update the posting date. However, for many companies, the document date is the date like when you receive the invoice from your customers or vendors, and the posting date is when you want to register in your system. So they are not necessary to be the same date, but previously, because they are linked together, when you update the document date, it's going to update your posting date, and you may not want to do that. So in this version, in the sales and receivable setup and the purchase and payable setup, there's a link doc date to posting date Boolean field added. But by default is set to false, which means it's not enabled. It doesn't get them linked. So you can have different document date and posting date. But if you do want to synchronize them, like what happens in the past, then you can enable this field. Okay. And so also for the warehouse, for the warehouse process, there are some other features like if you go to the location card, and previously you can only use the put away template and also the bin ranking if you have directed put away and pick enabled, like the white warehouse. We have the directed put away and pick enabled. Then you can use the In this case, then you can use the put away template, and also you can do the bin ranking. But in this version, you can, as long as you have the bin mandatory turned on the location card, even you don't have the directly put away and pick enabled, which is not advanced warehousing, you can apply the put away template and the bin ranking in the basic warehousing. Okay, so that's from the location. We have the bin mandatory enabled. Let's see if it's a silver or it's a yellow. So bin mandatory, yeah, there's a silver location. So if as long as bin mandatory is turned on, it doesn't have directly put away and pick enabled, but you can use the put away template, and also you can use the bin ranking. So that's an improvement, just for your convenience. And also, there are some additional features to support Shopify troubleshooting, the Microsoft Shopify connector. So if you go to our Shopify connector, go to the Shopify shop cart, and you could see there's a field. Under the General tab, we have the login mode, and you can enable the error only. So which means like you can log. If you select all, it will all transactions, different transactions will be logged. And if you select error only, it will give you the errors, like if there's anything when you retrieve the order or something happened, there's errored out, then you only track those errors. Then it's helping you to it will helping you with the troubleshooting. Once you have this login mode enabled, then you can go to your Shopify log entries to see what is happening. Okay, let's go to the Shopify log entries to see what logs we have here. And right now, because we select all, then it will log everything, right? Because actually in this box, in this sandbox environment, I don't have any arrow. So even I only enabled the arrow, then you will see nothing. So I just enabled all, so you can see all the logs for different transactions and activities here. But it's just helping you with your troubleshooting if something went wrong. And also there's retention policies, which is you can use to, this retention policy is not only for Shopify connector, you can use it for other tables as well. Then you can see the Shopify log entry, it's here. You can set up how long you want those Shopify log entries to be retention on the server. You can select 1 month, or you can select like 1 week, 1 year, or different setup. You can set up by yourself by adding the period you want. Okay, and so you just this way, if you have a retention period after that, if it's over that period, then all those old entries will be deleted. It's good for the data maintenance to avoid your database, SQL server, the database on Microsoft Cloud to grow too fast and too big. Okay, and also there are some so from the application side, I think it's pretty much everything here. Yeah, and for these timesheets, it's just like when you report your time, it will generate a notification to the approver. It's just for the convenience, like just working more efficiently when you post it, when you submit a timesheet, somebody will receive an email notification to remind them to come here to approve it. And so the next is the big areas, the Copilot and the AI innovation. So I will say with the complete bank account reconciliation faster with Copilot. So when you do your bank account reconciliation or payment journal reconciliation, and even you have your bank connected to it, you can import the statement, and the system, Business Central does the matching with the confidence level for you, but there are still unmatched transactions, like you have to deal with them manually. And with this AI feature enabled, you just tell AI what is your rules to match them. For those unmatched transactions, it will help you to match them based on the rules you defined. And we already know the marketing text suggestions even from the previous release and in my previous demo on my YouTube channel. Then I demonstrated how it works with the Microsoft Shopify connector to generate a description for the Shopify product from this marketing text. So it just its general availability is it's general available right now in November. Okay, but previously it's just in the preview mode. And so Microsoft also added different support for different countries and regions, considering their local legislation and tax filing requirements. You could see there are some e-invoicing features added and some other direct transfer features added. So I will just skip them. For the development area, because I'm not a developer, I'm only a functional consultant, I will say which will help me a lot will be the features like it can we have the page inspector. There are some features for you to debug from the web client, and let's see what features that debugging from the web client, and just go through these ones. And also there's features for the ISV Preview mode, I think, which is really good. This one, if you're an ISV publisher. But that's this is the one. Okay, open Visual Studio Code from web client to investigate or troubleshoot extensions. This is quite helpful for consultants. So what happened is like in this major release, and if you want to debug something, for example, you're on the item list, you're on this page, okay, and then you're looking for this item number and click on the three dot, you could see explore field in VS Code. Once you click on that, it will ask to open your VS Code environment, and you just connect to your Business Central with your web client with your Visual Studio Code. So it's more convenient for you to see the code and do the debugging. Okay, so it's added there. From here, you can explore to the field, explore field in VS Code, and also if you are do the debugging, incline debugging, you can click on the question mark icon here, and then you can go to your help and support. From here, you can go to your attach debugger to this session. So you will attach a Visual Studio Code debugging session with your web client session. You just open your Visual Studio Code here. Okay, so this is really helpful for the consultant, because previously, if you want to debug something in production, you have to do the snapshot debugging, and otherwise you have to copy your production data to a sandbox, and then you need to find a developer to do the debugging on the sandbox, right? But this is really convenient because you can just do the debugging from the web client, and you don't need snapshot debugging in this major release. And also there's I mentioned the feature for this app source ISV publishers can preview their app source apps with. So this is really helpful for the ISV, because when you publish your app to the app source, you can keep it in the preview mode, and then you just generate a link and send that flight code to your selected customer, and then to let them try out first. And after they try it out and then give you some feedback, then you can formally publish your app to the app source to make it available to everybody. So I think this is a nice feature. And regarding the governance and the administration, I will say, which I find very useful, it will be this one: delete data from uninstalled extensions as an admin. So when you help your clients to uninstall the extensions, actually it doesn't delete the underlying data in the tables. It only uninstall the extensions. And there's many orphaned tables which has the extensions removed but still have data in those tables. So in this release, it helps you, you can go to those tables and to delete them by yourself. So let's see, this is a table you have to go to delete. This is a function you have to run. You just need to go to your delete often extension data page. So once you go there, then you can delete often extension data. When you go there, in this case, somehow my tenant always got crashed when I go there. But I guess maybe if you're on the formal release of version 23, probably it will be good. I'm still on the preview version. This never worked for me. So you can go there and to delete the data. I found this is very useful. And also there's another feature I found it's useful is transfer environments between Microsoft Entra tenants. Entra means Azure Active Directory tenant. Now it's renamed as Entra tenant. So I found this useful because in many scenarios, our clients usually before they formally purchase Business Central, they usually register a trial, then try it out to see if it works for them. And then that trial is on the tenant of onmicrosoft.com. It's not their business domain, right? So it's not their domain name. And usually for business, when they create a Business Central tenant, they want to be on their own domain, right? So with this feature, if they previously tested out that functionality from the on Microsoft.com, then they can transfer that environment to their domain name as a tenant on Microsoft Azure. So I think that's really helpful in this case. And also, if you are a company which has multiple operations in different countries, and you can transfer the environment from one tenant to another, right? So it's also helpful in that scenario. And another thing, I think this one will be helpful for your upgrade team. Canceled cloud migration replication runs. So if you are running a replication from on-premise to replicate on-premise data to migrate your client to Business Central SaaS, and once you started that migration process, then you figure out you have some mistake, you need to stop it from running, but you cannot. You have to wait until that process is finished before you can make the setup change and run it again. By this feature, you can, even it's not finished, even when you run the replication, it's not finished, then you can cancel it in the middle and you can change the setup and rerun it. So that's just save you lots of time for your upgrade team who work with upgrading your clients from on-premise, Business Central on-premise to Business Central SaaS. And regarding the legislation, I think from our consultant point of view, I think the most valuable feature is to start faster with refresh and enhanced setup data. So it's available for the Australia, Canada, Germany, Netherlands, United Kingdom, and the United States. And for the chart accounts and all those posting groups and posting setups and the text setups, so all those setup data are available. Like you can use these setup data to start your Business Central as a starting point. So when you set up a new company, then you could say, so when you create a new company, either you are creating from the companies or you are creating from the assisted setup. So then you can say, I want to, if you go through this wizard, if you go through the wizard to create a new company, then you can select to create it with the setup data only. Then for those countries, those 6 countries, then those chart of account, all the associated setups, posting setup data are there. And you can use that as a starting point. So another feature, so I think for legislation, this is the one I feel very useful. And then talking about the onboarding, I found Kronos, the demo tool and data for service scenarios. This is really useful but this is for the service. If you are you are running a service company, then you use the service contracts, service orders, all those related to the service order management, and you're using that. Then there are some demo data created by provided by this tool, which is helpful. No matter you're a manufacturing company and provide the services, or you are just providing the services, you could see there's a common module, manufacturing module, warehouse module, and service module. So you can access those data through the console demo tool. In Business Central, you can just search console demo tool, and then you can use these data. And so these setup data are helpful for those consultants who usually do the pre-sales demonstration to the clients and to showcase the Business Central features. So for me, you could see all the data level. I already enable them. Otherwise, you can configure them. After you enable them, you can configure them. Depends on the different area. Like if you're using VAT or you're using only the sales tax and the region, okay, you can set up your region. You can do some configuration, okay. Otherwise, you may, if you don't have all of them enabled, then you could see data level is just a setup or something, which you can see on the screenshot. It's just a setup data. But I have all of them enabled. And after that, you can configure it for a different region with the different tax setup. So that's for the onboarding. That's what I like for the onboarding. And regarding the reporting and data analysis, even in the 2023 Wave 1 release, there's already feature for analysis mode, but you cannot process data if it's over 100,000 rows on the page. The page can only analyze the data. In Business Central, if you enable the analysis mode, it can only process up to 100,000 rows. But now it can process big data set, which is over 100,000 rows. Okay, and also previously this analysis mode is only applying to the pages in Business Central. In this version, it also applies to the queries. How can we go to a query to see how this works? Let's go to the web services and find a query. Let's say this vendor ledger entries, okay? And then we need to modify this URL to say query and equals to this ID 263. Let's take a look how this, so you can analyze, you can turn on the analysis mode on the queries as well. Data download was interrupted. Use the data filter to load. This data is too large. We should find another one which is smaller because this vendor ledger entries is too large. Let's go to the web services again, and then you just need to find a query which is smaller, maybe this one. So query number will be 100. Let's change this URL. So query equals to 100. So on the queries, then you can also enable analysis mode. Turn this on. Then you can do some analysis like what you do on the page. So this is really nice. You can create some additional queries with the reporting requirements of your company, and then you can analyze on it. You don't need to go to Excel spreadsheet to analyze it. And also, if you are copying the link from the analysis view, so that's why if go to the customers and then turn on analysis mode, and then we can say I want to copy the link, okay, and then you just copy this link, and somebody receive it can view exactly what you configured in this analysis view when they put that link on their browser. But they need to have the Business Central permissions, okay? If they don't have a Business Central license, then even they got a link, they will not be able to open that. Like when you share the Power BI report and the recipient need to have the Power BI Pro license in order to view it. So the same theory here. The other person who get the link, they can open exactly what you provide to them on that analysis view, on that analysis mode, but they have to have the Business Central license in order to view it in their browser. And that's basically what I like from the reporting and data analysis. From the service and the platform, I will say what impressed me most. It's just some performance improvement. It's just because in this area it's really for performance improvement. And from the consultant side, we only need to know like Microsoft did something like the table drawing. So previously, then they are using like only one companion. Previously, for each extension, they're having it's making a table connection. But now they only create one companion table for all extensions, which will help them to with the table drawing and improve the performance. So everything here is just what they do to improve the performance. We do not need to understand the underlying technology. You just need to have a basic concept how they improve the performance, what they did. Okay, and for the user experiences, I will say there's a lot I think which is helpful. And for example, they on the existing table fields, add existing table fields to optimize your pages. So this is really helpful because previously on the page, it's not all the fields exposed from the table, and even you personalize. And in this version, Microsoft exposed basically every. I cannot say all the fields from the table because I still see some fields not available from the table. But for example, on the item card, if you go to the item card, there's a field called the inventory level, called the inventory value 0. So that's a field which is not visible on the page, but you can ask the developer to add it. But even now, they opened up the table to the page. I still don't see that field here. So that's just search inventory value 0. No, you don't see it, right? Inventory value. Oh, it's there. It's in the table. You could see there, right? But if you want to personalize, because it says it's all the fields exposed, then that's what I mean. Oh. It's actually, I'm lying, it's there, inventory value 0. So it tells you it's invisible. So you have to personalize, it's invisible, but we can make it visible, recommended fields. If you want to add that, you can still add it. I didn't see this when I first tried it, but now you can add it, which is really good. And like the description to field, it wasn't available before, and you always has to ask the developer to do it, but now it's available. Okay, so when you go to personalize, you can see there's a recommended fields, and also you could see advanced, and then you could add some filters like the page fields bound to a table or not bound to a table, fields from base objects or from extensions. Then if you want the fields already shown on the page to list it here, or you only want the fields not listed to show up here. So you can create some filters based on these categories, so which is really nice. So I will say this is a great improvement. It helps our user a lot, which is a really nice feature. And then the next one I will say it is the search company data. So the global search, for example, I want to search an item, okay, and I want to search this Athens desk. Okay, so once I type in Athens, it tells me search company data. I can click on that, then show tables to search, and I want to use the item. So you can click on the item, and then you can enable the fields you want to search. So actually that's the description. Okay, so then you can enter your criteria, then see the results. However, because I typed it wrong, so that's why there's nothing show up. But if I type this way, then I could see all the Athens desk will show up here. Okay, so that's how you can do a global search here for whatever data you want to search on the Business Central, on your Business Central company. So I like this feature a lot. And also, there's a feature which called show related record details from lookup. Let's say if you're on a sales order and you want to add an item to the sales line, and once you added that item to the sales line, right? When you add an item to the sales line, then it only. So in this case, I need to release. I just refresh this page, and I need to reopen this order in order to add another line. Okay, so let's say you select another item, and when you click on this lookup, the drop-down field, right, it only show you these details, but not as much detail as you can see on the item card, right? So if I start typing in 1908-S, okay, I got this item. I can highlight this item. So previously, in order to see the item data, you have to, the details for the item, you have to click on select from full list. And then once it's open the full list, then you can click on the three dots and then manage and edit in order to bring you to the item card. But now you can just highlight this item and click on show details. It opens the item card right away. Okay, so it just save you many clicks. But those clicks are important for you to improve your work efficiency. So that's helpful. And then also another feature which helps you to improve your work efficiency is like if you open multiple tabs. Let's say I'm on the chart of accounts for this company. Okay, and then I just duplicate this. I open another one. Okay, and then in the other in this other tab, I can switch to another company. So let's switch to my company. Okay, so let's say I have multiple tabs there, and each tab are different. Okay, and then I may duplicate this tab again. And then this time I'm gonna open the item list. Okay, I just open the item list from here, and then we have multiple tabs open. But if I click on this tab, I could see what is the other two tabs about, right? Then in the bracket is the company name, and then it shows you what pages it's on, right? So the first one is the chart of account, the second one is the items, and then if I click on this tab, I could see I have the My Company chart of account open, I have the Kronos chart of account open. So it's very good for you to do multitasking because you have multiple tabs, and previously in Business Central on the top it only tells you like Dynamics 365 Business Central. Then if you have multiple chart of account open for different companies, it all says Dynamics 365 Business Central chart of account or something. So you don't know which is which, and it's not good for multitasking. But now you can clearly identify each tab, what is that tab doing. Okay, so that's really helpful. And also I found another thing, maybe it's helpful because if you are a user and when you work on a card page to do some data entry, then you may not want to mess up some field, like maybe I'm just accidentally put my cursor on a field and then I scroll my mouse wheel and then it just changed the options on that field. If that's the case, what you can do, you can just personalize that. You can disable yourself from being editing that field, even you have the permission to edit this page. You can click on this and then say lock editing. Once you click on that, then that field will be grayed out. You will not be able to edit that field anymore. Okay, so just to prevent yourself from some mistakes without even your administrator to limit your permissions. So I think that's a good feature as well, because frequently we got some ask from our clients like their user accidentally changed some field. They're not doing it on purpose, but because they have the permissions to edit that field, then probably they're working on some other fields on that page, but then their cursor just get to a field with options, then they scroll their view on the mouse and they accidentally change that field, okay, which is they're not supposed to do. So another feature I will say is useful is you can scan the barcode with the mobile apps now. So previously you have to use a third-party app like InsideWorks and or maybe mobile warehouse or some other extensions for warehousing in order for as a barcode scanning solution, because Business Central does not have that feature. And in this major release, there are some barcode scanning features being added. You can open your Business Central mobile app, then you can use that mobile app to scan the barcode. And you can scan the barcode. It's a 1D or 2D barcode, and it's supported on the mobile client. And there's a barcode scanning button you can use in order to do that, okay? And there's also some features for your developers to extend. And so to enable the barcode scanning, then your developer just need to change the EL code, set the barcode to be the extended data type property in the EL code. Okay, so that's really helpful as well, because Business Central now has the barcode scanning feature. And some other user experience I will say is on the mobile apps. There's some improvement. You can the worksheet previously is not on the mobile app, but now it's added. And also the tell me, like the search, previously it's not on the mobile app, and it's added. And also in this version of Business Central, when you get an error, then you can click on show details and show comments. It will bring you to the error directly, so it's easier for you to fix the error. And also, if you are doing something and the visibilities for the actions, it's only based on your actions. So if I already requested approval, let's say request approval, you could see these buttons, right? Send approval request, cancel approval request. If I already send approval request, right, and then issue only a cancel approval request button available, I don't even need to see the send approval request anymore. So in this version, based on what you selected, the actions will be changed according to what you selected. Okay, so that's basically what is in all the features I see, which is important and interesting to a Business Central consultant. And major changes in this version, I think there's a lot of improvement on the warehousing side and on the multi-company, intercompany transactions consolidation. And there's an improvement on the Power Platform integration with Business Central. It's more seamlessly connected right now through the Automate. And even the user experience, I think Microsoft focused on make the user experience to go more smoothly with less clicks. Very friendly. There's lots of improvements I see in this major release. Yeah, I will say compared with all the past major release, this one seems to have lots of features. I spent lots of time to go through all these features, but all the previous major release, I don't need to spend that much time. So I hope you like this video, and if you have any questions, you can leave a comment under this YouTube video. Thank you so much for watching it. I hope to see you guys again next time.